Hi there, Massimo from the BluRoot team. And today I want to show you how to automate certain actions. For example, sending an email to a client or to staff, or giving a task to staff. All kinds of things you can do inside of Zoho Bigin. So in an earlier video, I showed you how to create an email template. And now I'm going to show you how to actually send it. So automatically. So in order to do that, you're going to hit settings up here, and then you're going to go to workflows on the left, and you're going to go ahead and create a new workflow. Now, this is an important step. Similar to the email template, you have to choose the module where the action will happen. So, for example, if you're in a deal and you change the closing date and you want an automation to happen, you need to create this workflow in the deal. You cannot expect Zoho Bigin to trigger an automation when you change the contact name if the workflow is made in the deal. So think about where you want, for lack of a better word, the human to actually be clicking or updating a record. And wherever that is, make the rule there. So in this example, I'm going to do deal, and I'm going to say new internal sale. Notification. Okay. So now it brings you to the builder. So step one is the trigger. When do you want Zoho Bigin to start looking to do something? So you have three options. Created. Basically, this means exactly what it said. When you create the deal, in this example, or anything for the first time, it will run and see, does it meet the criteria that the client wants? Edited is also what it sounds like. Now, so when you create a record, nothing will fire. But then you go in and edit it, maybe the name, the date, whatever, it will fire and look at the conditions and see if it'll send. Now, this checkbox here is super important. What this here means without the checkbox, so when it's blank like this means that it will only fire the first time the criteria is met. So basically, when the deal is edited for the first time, it will fire. But as you can see, repeat this workflow whenever a deal is edited basically means whenever anything in the deal is edited, the name, the date, the amount, it'll fire every single time. Now it's going to check the conditions, so it won't necessarily send out automations every single time. But this one is kind of a scary one to choose. It depends on your use case. It depends on your needs. And then this last one here is created or edited. So this one is exactly how it sounds. When you create it, it'll fire. Or whenever you edit it, it'll fire. And you could make it trigger every single time you edit it. For this example, I'm just going to say once. Okay. Now you can give it some conditions. So you can get a bit more specific on when you want it to fire. So in this example, you could choose all deals, and then it doesn't care. Whenever a deal is edited for the first time, it'll run. But I'm going to make it a bit more specific. So when you actually click the dropdown, you can choose any field within the deal to give conditions to. So I'm going to say I only want this to fire when the stage is closed won. That's it. Now you could add more stages here, right? The other thing I'll note is you can also make this much more complicated if you'd like. So you could say stage is closed won and pipeline is consulting. So basically this automation will only trigger when you edit a record and the stage is closed won and the pipeline is consulting. You can also do or, and you can get very complex with this criteria. You could keep adding more and more. We're not going to go too in depth in that today. And then you have a few options of what you can actually send. So in this example, I'm going to send an email notification. So I'm going to click plus. I'm going to name it. This is an important part. So who do you want this email to go to? This name no one sees except you. But this is important. So you see you have a number of options. The owner and the creator, these are internal users. The contact owner, this is also an internal user. The contact email, this is actually the person on this deal's email. So this is your client's email. And same thing here, deal owner manager, user creator, etc. So these are all internal users. In this example, I am going to send to an internal user, and I'm going to send it to me. But you can send it to many. And for example, if this is an automation you want to send to the client, go ahead and hit contact email, and it'll send to the client automatically. You can also put more recipients in here. This isn't dynamic, but if you have like a sales app, whatever your company name is, .com, you could auto send all of your sales emails there, something like that. And then you're going to choose the template. So you can see, here's the template I made in the previous video. Now I'll hit save. So now you've just successfully created an automation. When you edit a deal and you move it to close one, there will be an internal sales notification. Now let me show you how that works. Last piece is you can turn it on and off by doing this. Okay, so now if I go to a deal, let's just create one. So I'm going to create a new deal. I'm going to name it testing deal. All right. I'm going to say they work at BluRoot and it's about Massimo. So one of the things, if you remember, the pipeline was consulting that I wanted this to go out at. The stage, I'm just going to put it at proposal price quote. Because if you remember, I only want this to trigger the very first time it's edited and only if it's closed one. I'll say it's $100,000 or $1,000. And I'll say the closing date is today. And I'll hit save. So now no automation ran, right? And it shouldn't. We told it not to. But now if I go move it to closed one, this is when the actual automation will run. So I edited it one time. And what will happen now is an email will go to M. Yenny Roberto, like my email internally. And you can see here in the timeline, there it is. So it was automatically sent to my email because I moved it to closed one. And that was the first edit. Now you can see here, if I go back to negotiation review and then back to closed one, it will not send the email because I told it only to send the original email. Thanks for watching this video. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out.